seeing it?
All I see is waiting for Music and Gear at the moment. Okay, now it says stream starting.
Okay, guys, it's a little strange the way I have things set up now. If we lose that camera, which it has frozen more than 10 times, first it wouldn't cut off, then it froze, and then when I went to start the stream, YouTube said there was an error that occurred. So we've had a lot of problems. This channel is about product reviews, and I'm going to give you 3 reviews in one night. Review on the Mevo 3-pack streaming cameras. Just don't buy them. They're really bad and they're semi-expensive. And did I say they're really bad? That's the review for the Mevo camera. Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. We've got ourselves a cool guitar here. This thing is really cool. And I gotta get my cord straight. Look at that thing. So I'm gonna put my headphones on. We're just gonna do some sounds real quick. And my cord is underneath my almost a catastrophic disaster right there. So did not have time to really look at anything. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure Linnell's mic's on. Check. All right. It says her mic's on.
Yes. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. Actually, I think you're louder than I am tonight. Let me bump mine up. Check 1. There we go. So, this is a hollow body by IYV. We're going to start out right here. We usually start out just with a couple little sounds. That's bridge. This is center position. Up to our neck. The EQ is completely set at 50%. So if you think it's a little too boomy or whatever, you can definitely correct a lot of that with your EQ.
Is that one of them there wraparound bridges?
Yes, it is a wraparound bridge. Pretty cool bridge. I don't know why. I'm going to turn myself up that way. I think that's what's messing me up. I can't hear myself well enough. It does have a wraparound tailpiece. And what's really cool about this tailpiece, if you look right here, there's a little screw. And that screw moves these two strings right here. You know, everyone talks about the Telecaster having problems because they've linked these two strings and these two strings with the saddle. In reality, it's these two strings that you have the problem with. So they were pretty smart. This one's fixed, fixed, and fixed. Okay? They made these two adjustable, independent of these. Now, if you look right here, there's two little set screws. You can move this tailpiece back and forth to get the fixed saddles in intonation. And then you can move this one back and forth to get these two troublesome strings in intonation. It actually works pretty good. The reason I know is I actually just went downstairs. I put brand new strings on this guitar, and I double checked the intonation. And I did mess with it just a little bit, but you know, it was no problem. Really easy setup. These two screws right here adjust your height, and they go into two little inserts in the guitar. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty slick. It's a nice bridge. I've never seen another company do that. This is the first time I've seen that bridge set up like that. It's cool. I've never seen that before. All right, let's kind of go over the fit and finish on the guitar. There is a binding that goes all the way around the guitar. Okay, and it stops right here. And that's because they put this chamfer right here. So this binding stops right at that chamfer mark. And they've also put a binding inside the F-hole. If you look at a lot of Fenders, they don't even do this. All they do is they lightly sand this, and they put paint right there, and then they razor cut it to the veneer top. This is pretty cool that they actually went in there and put a little binding in it. I mean, when I feel the binding, I do feel like little bumps in it through here. So I'm not sure if when they put that in, if they're applying heat to get that radius to set in the CA glue. But I do feel a couple little bumps in it. Right in through here. But the top cut to the body, it's nice and flush. Looking at the outside binding, there's one spot that's bad on it. You can probably see it right here. I'm going to show it up on the camera real close. They definitely scraped a little too far right there. And you can see how much wider it gets. And it's almost like they put the razor down, they scraped it here, and they went, oh, that's too much. Once you make that mistake, you should just kind of go through here and just blend that in. Just don't leave it like that. That's the one aesthetic issue on the guitar that's kind of funny. But everywhere else, it's done rather well. When you come around here, it's not bad. Here, they could have actually scraped in a little bit more. But I'm wanting to say this is about $170. I've seen this guitar as cheap as $149 on Amazon. Okay? For them to do a binding and then put binding on the F-hole like that, and then do a center book match top, that's crazy at that price point. It really is. That's a crazy amount of work. Looking at the back of the guitar, I got oil on my fingers because I've been working on guitars all day. So now you can see my little fingerprints. But looking at the finish on the back of the guitar, it does what acoustics do. It's got that. It's really nice. There is a round over right here. Let's check the round over. See what kind of round over we got. It's an 1/8 inch round over. Let's check it right at the heel. Yeah. It's 8 inches everywhere, all the way around. And they've actually got like a double heel right here where this neck comes in. You can see there's another shoulder right there. I kind of like that. I've seen this done both ways where they blend this up. I don't know. I kind of like that stopping, giving a little detail there. It's pretty nice. Looking in here. Oh, this feels nice and smooth. I'm not overly sure how they're constructing this guitar. At this price point, I'm gonna say that this is a glued on side, that they're not tubbing out a solid body and then applying the top. I'm gonna say that there's a hidden glue line in here. If that's how they've done it, it's done remarkably well because I can't see it. It looks really nice. It's very even. Looking at our top, it does have a little bit of a lip right here where it comes out. It's actually going down and then humps up. Feeling all that around there. Again, that's nicely done as well.
Super chat from Annoying Critic.
Ooh, thank you, Annoying Critic. All that does help. Trust me, guys. You know, if you watch our reviews, there's no commercials. If you're watching live, there's no commercials, guys. And usually, I forget to monetize the video for like a week. I always say that once the chat comes up, I'm going to monetize it. But most of the time, I don't. So if you guys miss a stream and you catch it 2 or 3 days later, there shouldn't be commercials either. I always forget to monetize. So YouTube doesn't give me too much. Usually on live streams, after the week, it doesn't get seen again. Everyone's already seen it that wants to see it. So I'm highly impressed with the body on this. Now, looking in here, I can see the block that they've used right here, but I can't look all the way back in there to see if this block goes all the way back. It kind of sounds like this block goes all the way back, but I could be wrong. I do have an inspection camera from when I do drain lines. I probably could shove that down in there, and it's got a little headlight on it, but I didn't think about that. But looking in the F-hole, I can see where it stops right here, but I can't see it back in there. But the bridge is very stable. A lot of these guitars, when you take the bridge off, these posts will move a little bit. And I did notice when I had the strings off the guitar, I was shaking the post, and the threads in the posts, one of the best I've seen. Even Epiphones and Gibson, you can move the posts a little bit, and they're depending on the string pressure to tighten it up. A trick that you can do on these posts that thread into the insert, and I think I've said it before, take an eraser, okay? What you want to do is take a mic, push your mic all the way in, like your calibers. Do this before you do the trick. If you look on the end of these calibers, there's a piece right here. So put that down inside the insert and push this down. Okay, that's going to tell you how deep the insert is. Okay, then measure your screw about your height and how far that screw is going to go down in that insert. And then take an eraser from a lead-based pencil, break that off and drop it down in the hole, and then thread your insert back in. What ends up happening when that threaded screw hits the top of the eraser, it'll put pressure on it and push up on the threads, and it will get rid of that wobble. Okay, little trick that guitar techs do. It works on all of them. Okay, if you look at a Fender floating bridge, the 6-screw bridge, if you didn't get a spring with your guitar, there should be a spring down in the hole. That way, when you thread the tremolo arm, the spring hits the top of the bar and it takes that slop out. Exact same principle, but you can use an eraser. This one I had no issues with. I mean, it's a nice fit. This little arm fits in here. It's a nice fit. Pickup covers. Since this is an arch top, I'm looking to see how it fits on the body. They fit remarkably well. And I say that because if you look, this has a ramp angle to it. So there's a curve this way and this way. And there's no gaps. See, here you can kind of force it. The screw will force it down, but it's really hard to hide it here on these ends. And when I look at it, it's tight to the guitar. And it's not distorted. If I look down this edge to the straight edge of the pickup, it's not doing this. The top edge is following the pickup. So they're nicely machined to fit this particular body. I give IYV credit on that. A lot of times, especially Epiphone, this might be tight here, but they've screwed this down so then the plastic arcs. And then you'll see the arc in the pickup is straight. They've bent the pickup ring to make it follow the guitar because it's an arch top. They actually took the time to fit this to match that arc. That's impressive. Looking down our neck, we do have a very large inlay of the Tree of Life. Is it as nice as the Ibanez Tree of Life? No, it isn't. It's done bigger and fatter. But I will say this, the inlay material, I think is prettier than the inlay material on Linnell's Gem. Ibanez tried to save money, so the material they're using there, of course, they can't use what they use on the big Gem. So the Gem Junior, they cheapened that material. And it looks kind of dull and lifeless. This one actually does have some pretty decent color to it. But it is large and fat.
Super chat from Brian.
Ooh, thank you. That's what funds the channel, guys. It really does. Looking at our inlay, we want to see how well it fits the route that they put in it. What's peculiar is some of these fit remarkably tight. And then right here on the end of this one, there's a ton of filler. There's a ton of filler on this one. But this one is super tight, really tight. But here on the end, it's like the machine misstepped. So there's a lot of filler on this point and this point. So it's peculiar. It's extremely well done in some spots, but then they've missed it by a 32nd of an inch in other spots. So that's kind of it's making me think that the machine, the rail on the machine, the thread that runs off the stepper motor, whether it's a belt drive or a screw drive, something's worn out, and the repeatability isn't that good on the machine. It would have to be a screw drive. It could actually take that back. It could be their backlash, how much slop is in the screw. They might need to set the backlash. That's usually a sign of something not right in the machine as far as repeatability. But all in all, at this price point, it's incredibly well done. Now, we do have a rosewood fingerboard, and feeling that rosewood fingerboard to the side of the neck, it's good. Now, something I'm not really understanding, it's almost like the rosewood fingerboard right here. If you look at our position dots, okay, there's the position dots are in the rosewood. Now, do you see a couple of these dots? They're not full circles. They're cut straight, and that's right where the neckline is. So the only way this can happen is this piece of fretboard material was pre-made. It's slotted and drilled with these dots, and then they went back and sanded the bottom side of it to cut into these inlay dots. This is the first time I've ever seen that. This one right here This one right here where my thumb is the worst. I mean, does it bug me? It kind of bugs me, but I'm looking at the price of the instrument going, but I can see, I think I know what took place there. And that would be the only thing that I can think of. The only other thing it could be is when they taped this off, the tape line was too far up on the neck and they sprayed this black. They did their sand and then they sprayed this urethane all the way around to this edge. That's probably a more likely answer to why that is there. Now that I think about it, I bet you if we took this and we scraped this back, this rosewood continues back into this black a little bit. That they taped it off. That's a taping error. Sometimes it takes my little squirrel brain a little while to figure out an error, but I'm going to say that's what has transpired there. Feeling the back of the neck, it is high gloss, but it is very smooth. And this neck feels about like a 60s Gibson. It's a little chunky. And I'm going to say that this is a C shape. It's more rounded. A D kind of flattens off in the center. This is more of a C-shaped neck. Now the tuners have been replaced. These are the Gunther Pro. The stock tuners were So these tuners, I can honestly say, lock really well and feel very smooth. And these go for about $35. So they were replaced on the guitar. Work very well. You could see that I don't even really have 3/4 of a wrap on some of those. The whole point in the locking tuner is you don't have all those wraps. The more wraps you have around the post, the string can pull and tighten that wrap and you lose tune because the wrap is tightening. When you can get it like this to where the face of that string is going this way, there's very little string there that can relax. That's the point in the locking tuner. It's fast string changes. Very nice. So it's a direct replacement. You notice there's no extra holes. And looking at our IYV logo right here, it's done very well. And if they would look at the color of the inlay, it's got reds and blues on it. Boy, I tell you what, if they took this material and put it on this Tree of Life, it would be stupid nice. See the difference? Look at that inlay on the IYV. And now look at the inlay of the... I mean, I might be asking for too much for this price point, but boy, that would be sharp if they used that inlay material on that Tree of Life. That would be stupid nice. Looking at our frets, going down it, there are no sharp frets. I haven't done anything to the guitar. Looking at the frets themselves, they're not shiny polished. I'm going to say this is going to be the result that you'll get with like steel wool or a fret eraser. It has a dull sheen to it. But they feel decent. This feels like any $700-800 guitar that you would go to Guitar Center or you'd pick up at Sweetwater or your local mom and pop shop. This just feels very regular to me. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a far less expensive guitar. They feel smooth. Feeling the fret themselves, just so we don't miss something here, guys. You know, every review we do here is a little different.
How much string do you still need to leave on locking tuners to allow for drop tunings?
I would probably do a full wrapped. I'd probably bring this around to where it's 3/4 of a wrap at least. You want the string to be pointing at least the other direction. See how the string's going this way and then that end is going this way? You want at least that much. So I would probably do 3/4 of a wrap, and then you can adjust it to alternative tunings. If you go more than a whole step, the problem, especially if you're using like, let's say 46s to 10s or 52 to 10s, there's a lot of pressure there. So if you go down a full step, you might need to also adjust your truss rod. And that's really dependent on your guitar. If you have a guitar that has a 2-piece neck or a 3-piece neck or carbon reinforced rods, or it's roasted, you may not have a problem. Just keep that in mind. Everything is based, your intonation, your truss rod, everything's based on whatever tuning it's set up at. So let's get a height on the frets. So our fret height is 1.17. And the width of our frets on this guitar, 2.66. So I'm not going to say that that's a jumbo fret. That's like a medium fret. They feel nice. It is a wider fret, so it gives it a played-in feel. And the way the crown is done on the neck, it's a very flat top crown. So it makes the guitar play really smooth and active. That's the best way. If I've got to describe it, it has a nice smooth feel. You know, if you have a very large radius on the top of your crown, that makes the guitar feel smooth and easy to play. The more sharp that radius is, more pyramid-y it gets, the more bite and attack you can get, okay? I kind of like it in between on my shred guitars. This guitar reminds me of, I've got a Firefly double cut. It's the FDC with the P90s. When I redid the frets on that guitar, I deliberately flattened the radius on the top of the frets. I wanted that old Gibson feel. So that's how I got it. I didn't do the pointing. If I think about it, I'm trying to think, my one Peavey that I redid has got more of a little bit pointy fret that I did. And you can look at your tools. It'll give you tool numbers. You can use a Z file, and you can get a pointier fret. Using the Fret Guru that I use, it's a predetermined radius. So even if you move the file like this on its side, it's really not going to change the radius that's inside the file. So if you want to sculpt the top of your fret, you're going to need to use a StewMac Z file or an offset Z file. That way you can get in there and really cut the side of the fret down while you're not cutting the top of the fret. Just a pointer for you guys. Okay, let's get some widths. At the top, the neck width is 42.49. At our 12th, we got 53.16. And this guitar actually has 24 frets, guys. So at the 24th, we got 57.55. I guess, let me loosen the strings. I know you guys are going to want a thickness on the neck. And I spent all that time tuning it. Don't want to take too much off of it. So at the first fret, you have to pick that one. There we go. First fret, we have 22.23. On the 12th, we have 24.36. So you can tell it does have a little chunk to it, but it feels nice under your fingers. Now I'm going to have to retune. See, the advantage to a live review, you guys get to see all the in-between stuff that everyone cuts out. And Nell's got the coffee.
More like the giggles.
Are they picking on me?
Oh, Vox said IYV needs to make a guitar that is like this. Instead of a Vine fretboard markers, it says Linnell's.
This guitar was bought for review.
The black one is mine.
Yes, the black one is Linnell's. We'll leave it right there until we do the demo. Okay. Action height on the strings. We'll start with the guys across the pond first. On the 12th, I'm going to say it's set at 1.25. High E. Woo. I'm going to say like 1.15. Very low. And for the Imperial Lovers, on the 12th, I'm going to say it's set to 0.40, probably the lowest I've ever seen. And it's right, the string is covering up 0.40. So it's very surprising that this guitar doesn't have more buzz than it has. I was going to say there is a little buzz in the guitar, but at that action height, you could definitely raise it to, 0.055, and it would still be stupid low. But that's fine. I mean, if you can get away with that kind of low action, that's pretty good. So let's check the frets. Let's go through and double check the frets on the guitar. So is there anyone watching the stream that has this guitar? I'm very curious. This guitar is pretty much always on Amazon. Right here, when I say just a little bit, just a little bit right there. I would never mess with that, but you know me, I'm going to tell you everything I find. I wouldn't ever fix that. Not even with a fret kisser. That's so close that it's not worth messing with. We try to do thorough reviews here of products. right there again, just a little bit. Would I fix that one? That's a little bit worse, but it's still, that one's borderline. I mean, it's obviously not affecting it too much because the action slammed. So it's between the top of the B to under the A, center of the fret. So 2 little teeny weeny spots so far. It's almost as bad as watching paint dry, isn't it? Thought there was a spot right there. If you can tell if I think I'll really roll my wrist and double check, but I'm applying pressure back and forth on the tool.
Do they make a version of this with P90s?
I wish they did. Oh my gosh, that would be IYV, if you're listening, that would be stupid cool. So here's our first one that has a little rock. Can you hear that? So that's probably the fret that's causing the buzz right there. That one, this one should be fixed. So it's below the E. To right below the B. So one fret. I'm going to say 1 because I'm being stupid picky on the other ones. Here's another spot. This one's not really bad. But that one, this one above the B to below the A, I would work on that one just a little bit. But it's not horrible. But I would work on that one. Right there, it's like the top one. And that's just under the A. Like, no one would really pick that out, guys. Here's another really, really light one right. Starting in the center. Just under the 2 center strings. Again, I wouldn't mess with that one. And a little bit right there. And a little bit right there. Now this, right below the B, it's just a little bit. And it gets a little worse as it goes to the, that's something, see the fret tool? I would work on that one. So 3 spots so far. So 3 spots that I would fix and 3 spots that if you wanted it to be perfect, I guess you could work on them, but they would never cause an issue. So these 3 spots is probably what's causing that little bit of buzz. I didn't want to get in too much on the guitar. I kind of just set it where it was at, where it felt nice playing it, and that's where I left it. I don't mind a little bit of buzz. It's not like it's horrible. So I'd say it's pretty good. Okay, oh, you know what we need to do, guys, because this guitar is stupid light. When I say it's stupid light, it's stupid light. Let's weigh it. So in pound ounces, it's so light it doesn't want to sit on the scale. Anyone want to make a guess? It's light. Oh, wait. Wait just a little bit. Take a guess. It is a hollow body. Okay. What we have,
You got 5.5 pounds.
5.5 pounds. Okay, anybody else?
Not yet.
You're too heavy.
4.7. 6 pounds.
4.7. You're too heavy. No.
4.4.
No. Yep. 4.7. You're a little under. Sorry. It's 4 pounds, 14.8 ounces. That's stupid light. 4 pounds, 14.8 ounces. Let's go to grams. That's 2,232 grams. That is crazy light. That is crazy light. If you're looking for a light, cool guitar, next time Amazon, I'm pretty sure Amazon has this in stock right now. They usually always have this guitar in stock. That's crazy light. All right, let's look at the pickups, because everybody wants to know what the pickup readings are. These are the Destiny CNC wound pickups.
Is there neck dive?
It wants to roll this way. It's actually quite well balanced. I'm deliberately trying to make it go one way or the other. Oh, let me unplug the cord. That's pretty good, guys. Yeah, it wants to fall over like that. It's not bad. The balance is surprisingly good. I would think that too, as light as it was, you'd think all the weight would be forward. All right, let's check the pick 'em ups. We're going to start at 20K ohm. And for a hollow body, they're quite warm. 20K ohm, we have 14.12. That's in the bridge. And our Henrys and inductance is coming in at 7.12. Boy, that's almost 50%. Perfect. 50%. So what's that tell us? That tells us that they have put a very strong magnet in this pickup and it has less windings on the pickup. Normally when I see numbers like that, I usually don't like the sound of the pickup. I've already played this guitar. I don't think the pickups are horrible in it. Here's the center position. We've got 5.75, 3.11. That's above half. So I've never had a pickup test on the Henrys and inductance that high based on the K. This is what I say, guys. These are just numbers. Sometimes we try to put our mind around the number and what we like. Sometimes there's just an instrument that just kind of does weird things, and we're like, okay, I don't like the numbers, but here's 20k ohm. We got 9.4544, and that's the neck position. And our Henrys is 3.42. So meter-wise, that's the best testing pickup. That's what I tell people. We always do that. Would I have thought the pickups, I'd never tested them before. Would I have thought those pickups, especially the bridge, would have tested like that? No. I would have thought that pickup was probably a 12.
Are they ceramic?
Coming in. You know, I don't know what the Destiny CNC wound pickup is. I like ceramic pickups. Everyone throws about Alnico pickups, but I like ceramic pickups. I like Alnico pickups too. I think they both have a certain sound, but a lot of the guitars that I really like have ceramics in them. A good made ceramic pickup is a good pickup, just like an Alnico 2 or 3 or 5. You know, people look at a budget guitar and it says, oh, it's got Alnico 5s in it. They got to be good. That's just the type of magnet. It doesn't mean you're getting a good pickup. It can still be cheaply made and with high-powered magnets and very little copper on it. So don't let someone say, well, it's Alnico pickups. It's got to be good. And don't let anyone tell you it sucks. If you like the way it sounds, then that's the pickup for you. It really comes down to what you like. And also remember, a certain voiced pickup will sound different in every rig, depending on the preamp you have, the tubes you're running, or the modeler you're running, your EQ, your speakers. Sometimes someone will go, I really like these pickups on my rig. And they'll buy a set of pickups that everyone claims are so good, and then they stick it in the guitar and they're like, I like the other pickups better. Once you use a certain type of pickup and you've got used to that sound and your rig is adjusted, sometimes that's just the direction that you go. I've always liked JBs, so my rig was always set up for JBs or an EMG 89, which is a very similar voiced pickup to a JB. So I would gravitate towards the JB or the EMG 89 or a PAF, because they're all similar voiced. It worked well with my guitar rig, and I didn't have to do EQ settings going out playing. I could make those pickups work without doing anything to my rig. Just plug in the guitar and go, if that makes sense. But that's what they're reading. So I guess the only thing for us to do is to plug it in and see what this thing sounds like. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that we just don't plug in the guitar and play it and tell you it's great. Hopefully I've given you all information on this guitar that'll help you in the decision-making process if you're thinking about purchasing this guitar. I try to tell you how it feels under my fingers, the construction of the guitar, errors that I see. I go over how thick the neck is, the curve of the neck. Keep in mind, we did replace the tuners, the factory tuners. It's like a lot of budget guitars. Sometimes you might get a good one. Sometimes they're kind of scratchy. So with this guitar, and the $35 tuners, you should easily be able to get it under the $200 price market. I've seen this guitar go on sale a lot for $145, 149. I think the cheapest I ever saw it was $139, and that was right before Christmas. So please go down, hit the little like button, hit subscribe, go over to the bell icon and hit all. We do a lot of content here as far as guitar reviews, gear reviews. We normally do a hangout on Saturday nights. Tonight's a double review night. We have another cool guitar that we're going to review later tonight. And then we just received a stupid cool guitar that showed up in the mail today. Unless Devastator's already let it out of the bag, I'll leave that for you guys to pay attention to YouTube. That's either going to be this coming Thursday or this coming Saturday. Fingers crossed. I always let the guitar sit for 2 or 3 days before I take it out of the box. I don't know where it was shipped from, so I want to make sure it acclimates to the house. Then we'll unbox it and do a review on that. But again, if you're familiar with the channel, we always take a 5-minute break. So let's take our 5-minute break, and when we come back, let's listen to this guitar and clean. Let's put some crunch on it, and let's just be stupid and throw some high gain on it since it's a hollow body. Everyone playing death metal needs a hollow body guitar. That would be my first choice. So we're going to put some high gain on this thing too and see what it does. Let's find out what this thing will do. How versatile is this hollow body guitar? All right, guys, 5-minute break. And if I've missed anything that you guys want to see or info about this guitar that I can check for you, that it's on the bench, please type that in the chat during the break. And when we come back, I will try my best to give you that information. All right, 5-minute break, guys. Go get a drink, get a snack, hit the restroom, and come back. Let's hear what the guitar sounds like. Okay, guys. Get the microphone back out here where it needs to be. It is time to get some sounds out of this guitar. Okay, our amp of choice tonight, we are playing through a Yamaha THR-10. This is the second version of it. This is the V2. And we're coming right out of the headphone jack into the in-wing rack, right to you guys, because the wing rack has our interface built into it. So I'm going to check the volume of the guitar. That's going to work. Got the volume and tone all the way up. We're in the bridge position. First thing we want to do is we want to check the pots. See how linear the pots are? It's very linear, but you can tell there is no tone bleed on this circuit because as I rolled the volume down, the treble went down as well. So you can hear it. But it's a very linear pot. It's probably most likely that is a audio taper pot. I like my new headphones, but they mess with my glasses on this side. So let's check our tone. It's all the way up. Pretty much unusable all the way down, but it's making changes all the way through. Again, that's a nice pot. It functions nicely. All the electronics in this guitar, you have to get to through the F-hole. There's no back cover. I've worked on a couple of these guitars, and I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have a lot of fun. If you go to replace electronics, change the switch, and stuff like that in these guitars. It's tough. It's really difficult to get in there and do it. If you're doing it and you don't do a lot of it, and you don't have little tools to assist you, it can get pretty cumbersome pretty quick trying to get those pots and everything up in there. The trick that I've found is I do all my wiring out here, okay? And I leave that one wire loose, okay, for the jack. I feed that wire through, make sure it's really long, get that through the jack. Fish these components in, leave enough to where you can fish it around, you don't see them, okay? Then since this wire is sticking out, then you can trim it back a little bit, solder your jack on, and put that on. I found that works the best, and it's difficult. So, let's double check our settings, because everyone wants to kind of know what I use. So we're starting our Yamaha app. So you can write down my settings. You can see we are in the clean channel. And all these are the settings in the Yamaha. We're not using any post-processing. These settings will stay the same. All we're going to do is change this setting right here. We're going to go to crunch, to lead, to the special channel. But everything else will stay the same. That's how I have it set up. That's just FYI. Okay, now, bridge position. Go up to our center position. Up to our neck position. What I hear in this particular setting is that the pickup's a little hot. You can hear it. you can hear it. There's a little bit of breakup in it. And we're
back-
clean.
Backwoods Billy said tinny sound. He thinks the pickups, in his opinion, need to be replaced.
Yeah, the numbers on the pickups aren't that good. I will say, for what they're testing at, they sound a lot better than I thought they would sound, if that makes sense. The neck pickup is definitely a little too gainy, if that makes sense, and it has a lot of boom to it. So if I take the tone back a little bit. It kind of helps, but then it also kind of makes it more boomy sounding. If we go to our center position, let's roll the tone back. This is tone all the way up. Leaving the tone where it was at, let's go down to our bridge. The bridge is definitely more ice picky. Okay, let's try some crunch. Crunch setting. All I'm doing is changing the volume. Take a little bit of that gain out.
The video just froze.
Okay, guys. Sorry, we've had technical problems with that camera all night. We're switching cameras. We have literally had problems with the other camera all night. The reason the stream was a little late tonight was the other camera. Again, I can give you guys a great review on Mevo cameras. Save yourself the money and don't buy them. Mevo, if you're listening, you have a horrible product. Okay. So we'll continue streaming until this one fails. I had this camera set up looking this way, and I forgot to turn it on. So all I had to do is just change the angle and guess it this way. So that's a little bit of distortion in it. I'm really having to, a sign of a good pickup. I'm not saying that you don't have to mess with your volumes, but it shouldn't be quite as bad as this. Go up to our center position. Up to our neck position. They're okay. Now, I'm looking at what this guitar normally sells for. You're looking at the maximum I've ever seen this guitar sell for is $189. So it's under $200. And like I said, I've seen it as cheap as $139 before Christmas. If pickups, tuners definitely, you're going to need tuners. Pickups or taste. For me, I don't know what I would put in this. Of course, I know Pearly Gates would be awesome in it, but do you want to buy $250 worth of pickups and put in a $150 guitar? There's probably Guitar Fetish, some other companies like that. You guys can put in the chat, what pickup would you put in this guitar? You want something warm and nice sounding. It's a hollow body, something that is going to get that resonance and that sound chamber that's gonna, certain pickups just do better, in hollow bodies. What would you put in it? I would be curious to see what you guys would suggest in the guitar. So we're back down to the bridge position. Check tune. Right there's it's just out of camera. Sorry guys, we switched cameras. Now you can't see the tuner.
This is the camera that goes gray now and then.
Yeah, this camera does go gray every now and then. The other one never goes gray, it just stops working. That's not the guitar's fault. Literally, these strings were put on about an hour before the string. Now, I did stretch them, play it for about 5 minutes, stretched them again, and then that's it. So, they are fresh. Okay, let's go up to our center position. up to our neck position. They don't sound bad with a little crunch on them. The pickups are definitely the weak point in this guitar, but playing it like that, I think it does a little better. Okay. Time to get stupid. When I make a mistake, guys, I make a mistake. You can hide it, just put a lot of distortion behind it. It's kind of crazy that the guitar can do that. It sounds better in high gain.
Brad Rocker says, love to know how you get that maximizer sound through that THD.
If you have one of these amps, go grab a pencil and a piece of paper. I'm going to share, there are my settings. You do that. Okay, now if you have this amplifier, don't expect that sound through the stock speakers. Plug it into your PA system, into a set of 15-inch drivers with horns. You'll never get that sound out of the stock little speakers. Come right out of the headphone jack to your PA, and those settings that you see on your screen right now will give you that sound. And you can come back in the stream and you can copy those. Went to my main camera. Go back, the stream will be up, and write down those settings and plug it into your PA. And it's going to sound like that. Okay? If you struggle with it, send me an email, or you can get a hold of me on Discord. We can get in one of the live rooms and we'll tinker with it. We'll get your THR to sound like that. I'm not using anything other than that amplifier to get that sound. Especially on these budget guitars, I like using that because it's a 200. Well, we paid 325 for it. It's went up to like 360 now. I think it's a great amplifier as long as you don't use the little speakers that are in it. Does it sound horrible as a little desktop amp? It's not horrible, but it's got those little tiny speakers and it just can't produce what it can do. I think if Yamaha took that package and put it in a pedal form, leave the hours on it, leave everything in it. Just make a little preamp pedal that we could come right out of that into your little Class D power amplifier that you have on your boards now, these little tiny amps. I think that freaking thing would sell. It's got a great preamp as far as your clean sounds and stuff. Yamaha, if you're listening, you've got it. Just take the amp out, take the speakers out, and put that thing in a preamp pedal form, and let these guys put it on the little board with like a little, what is it, the Seymour Duncan Power Stage or whatever that little box is. Put it in with that. It's all your effects. It's all you need. I mean, I would go for that all day long. I mean, I would take this out just like this. But in pedal form, make it to where I can have two out sources, to where I can put it on like a little monitor on stage where I can hear it, and then go front of house for people playing bigger places. That thing would sell like fire cakes. But there's nothing, it's a great little amplifier. You can get a lot out of it. Now, something else, how you pick and how you attack the guitar does change your tone. If you watch, I pick like this, okay? And as I pick, I have very little pick coming out, and this is a stiff pick, so I can really dig in. Maybe start practicing this way. I know certain guitar players play this way and get a certain sound.
Just a heads up, it's like 7:30.
Yep, 7:30, guys. We do have another stream at 8. We are reviewing another guitar. But that's going to be it for this guitar. Just like all our other reviews, guys, if you've bought one of these guitars, I want to hear from you. Did you replace the tuners? Did you replace the pickups? Did you find the guitar sounded great and you didn't have to do anything to it? Or did you get one and it was just a wreck? You know, you didn't like it. You thought the quality was bad. This channel is here to offset all the other YouTube channels. Okay, I'm not saying that there's not another good YouTube channel out there. YouTube is bad for hiding good content and giving us the exact same BS channels that we always see. If you like this kind of content, non-sponsored, we buy the guitar, there's no link. It's just me giving you my honest opinions through a basic amplifier right into your all's computer. It's as honest as it can be. You can see that there's no editing in the demo section. I turn a couple knobs on that little amplifier. It's not an expensive amp. You get to hear it play. You got to see the inspection on the guitar, the fit and finish. It's as honest and as open as you can possibly do a review. That's what this channel's about. And it's about you, the viewer, posting. That helps other people in the future watching this video thinking about purchasing this guitar. Your opinion and what you received counts. This is one guitar. Everyone knows there can be bad ones.
What are the pots, Born or Alpha?
You know, I don't know because we can't see in the back. And you would literally have to unscrew this and fish in here. Or you'd need one of those little dental mirrors where you could fish in here and look up in the back. IYVs that I've seen in the past are just using a generic pot. That doesn't mean that, I guarantee you they're not Barnes pots. I've only seen one budget guitar with alphas, and that's Leo James, the one we just reviewed Thursday night. That blew my mind that thing had alpha pots in it. Usually these are just generic pots. Does that make them bad? No. Some of these inexpensive pots are fine. It's just the tolerance is way out. So that doesn't mean every one of them the tolerance is out, but you might get one that's rated for 500 and it tests at 450. Okay? As long as it's a good pot and it works well with the capacitor that they picked and the pickups, doesn't matter. The higher end pots usually have a better carbon trace, a wider carbon trace, and the tolerance is closer to spec, if that makes sense. Higher end manufacturers want closer tolerances because they want to make sure that every guitar is closer to spec, that way it sounds very similar. Cheaper manufacturers go left and right. That's why you'll see some of them sound a lot better than the other ones. They're using a cheaper component with a higher tolerance. So if you've got one that's way out here and then your capacitor's way out in tolerance, maybe it's out in both directions, that's not good. That's the difference. Do high-end guitar companies always give you that? No, that's the problem. Sometimes we pay all this extra money for the guitar and then they're cheaping out on us too. It's you. You have the power. You, the viewer, have the power to make change. If you see product from a guitar company that's just continuously undercutting you and charging you more, when you buy it, return it. Don't buy that product again until they fix it. You buying that product and not returning it gives them the authorization to continue doing what they're doing. If you refuse to buy that inferior product at that price point, they're going to change. They have to sell guitars. They want to make money. So whatever it is, they're going to up it a little bit. Put another product out. They're going to see, hey, did this change make a difference? They're going to keep continuing to better that product until the sales pick up on it. You, the purchaser, have the power to make a change. Will it happen overnight? Absolutely not. It'll take, just like Fender. Ever since COVID, Fender quality has went, it has. If you're going to sit here and you're a Fender fanboy and you're going to say Fender now is just as good as it was before COVID, I hate to tell you, you're smoking crack. Fender quality has went way downhill. That doesn't mean that you can't get a good one. I've bought 2 Fenders since COVID. I got good ones. But the amount of bad ones coming out versus good ones has probably doubled since COVID. Fender is really struggling with quality control. And talk to other stores that are dealing with Fender products. They're going to tell you the same thing. Again, that doesn't mean you can't get a good one. That just means the odds of you getting a so-so one gets more and more and more. And their sales are hurting. So this new CEO, he's going to have to make changes. Fender is the largest music manufacturer company in the world. They're the biggest. They sell more product and have more brands under their wing than any other company. They're going to fix it. But they kept cheating and cheating and cheating and raising their prices all at the same time. Look at these new Fender amplifiers that are solid state. It's way too expensive. When you can add $300 or $400 more and you can get the tube version, it just doesn't make sense to buy the solid state one. Like, what is it? The basement's like $2,200 and the solid state one's like $1,850. I'm not stupid. If I've got $1,850, I'm going to save that other $300 and I'm going to buy the tube one. The tube one takes pedals better. It's going to last longer. It's going to sound better. It's just a better amplifier. You know, the Tone Masters aren't selling. They're lowering their prices. That amp still needs to come down, in my opinion. It needs to come down to at least $1,200, $1,300 before I would even consider buying one. But we're off topic. But that's how you make a difference. These reviews tell you something. And if you think this is a good buy, and I think it is a good buy for what they're selling the guitar for, I think it needs pickups. I would put pickups in it and tuners in it. And I think I could get a decent set of pickups for this guitar for $80. So you could have a really nice hollow body. The fit and finish on this guitar and the way it's made, it's pretty sharp. And if I wanted to play this thing and I was in a hair metal band and I just wanted to make people laugh, you heard that this thing is stupid with gain. You can buy this guitar and just play hair metal through it. It's fine for that. I guess it depends on your use, how you're going to use the instrument. And again, if you bought one, I need to hear from you. That's what this channel's about. We're here to be different. I want to thank everybody that left a super chat. Please go down, hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe. I'm really trying to grow the channel. We want to push the channel out. It's time for this channel to get more well known. I think a lot of people click on it and they know what we do. I think it's time that we get a little better. This year you're going to see a lot of changes. We're going to buy some cameras. We're going to try to fix the issues that we've had in the past. And it just takes time, guys. And every super chat and every YouTube ad that you watch in the future, that little bit of funds, every dime goes back into this channel. It really does. Plus money that I put up. So if you like this kind of content, leave me a note downstairs. Tell me you like down in the comment section, tell me you like these kind of reviews. We are trying to be different. And please come back at 8 p.m. If you're watching live, we've got another live review coming at 8. Thanks again, guys. We're going to do our 5-minute in chat. And thanks.